We're lucky to have Paul Coonan with us. Paul is a Director of Planning Communities and Property Portfolio in the Department of Communities, who's going to provide us just with some initial sort of responses and perhaps sort of connect that conversation to what's currently happening in Brisbane a little bit. Thank you, Paul. Please welcome Paul.
In terms of a response, I almost wanted to respond to every slide I saw and speak at least as long on them. This is really exciting to me because it speaks very much to the experience the Department of Communities is having with its housing portfolio. I should touch on a couple of the advantages we have in Queensland, or what I see as advantages. A major one is a joined up local government in Brisbane. We've got a situation in Brisbane where the local government can't imagine that the problem belongs to the local authority next door. So for Brisbane, there really is a concern about those middle ring suburbs, 7 to 14 kilometres out from the city. The housing portfolio that we own has high concentrations in that ring, and historically the Department of Housing did not build high-rise housing. So we have got lots and lots of underperforming assets at 7 to 14 k's out, where the implied subsidy for the people living in social and public housing is very high because of the intrinsic value of the land. So we are in fact engaged in trying to develop and redevelop precincts at that distance from the city. One of the things the Brisbane City Council is doing is neighbourhood planning studies. And so they are engaging really directly with the people who live in the community about their aspirations for the community. And by doing that in a genuine way, they've got outcomes that I think are much higher aspirations for density than I would have imagined possible. Work that's been done down at Wynnum has resulted in the local community embracing the prospect of 5 and 8 storey buildings in their community, which is a huge jump up from what they've got now. Now that community might not be physically ready for that, but it creates a planning framework that allows developers to invest in those areas. Now equally, as an owner of lots and lots of housing, the Department of Housing as we were and Communities as we are has been able to engage local government in a discussion about where those neighbourhood planning processes should be undertaken. And we've been able to convince them to extend some of their boundaries to pick up areas where we have high concentration. What that achieves is we already have that joined up monopoly of land where we are able to demolish, well in fact not demolish, but remove houses to other sites, consolidate sites, build housing that better matches the needs of the people in social housing, free up more land which can then go to the private sector. Now we've had experience of that in suburbs like Stafford, which has created incredibly mixed communities. At the same time as preserving the stock of public housing, we have lowered its concentration by increasing the stock of general market housing. The most exciting one we're doing at the moment is down at Coopers Plains, where over the course of the last 10 years, the department has built low and medium low density housing better targeted to the needs of the social housing tenants in that area, and at the same time started to demolish other housing. So there's been no net loss of public housing in the suburb. We are now in a situation where today we will open proposals from 4 proponents to become preferred developer to develop the balance of that community, of that precinct. We're anticipating as many as 1,000 new dwellings going into the Coopers Plains area at densities about 5 times what they were historically. The things that we're also asking the developer to do in that process, though, is to demonstrate, well, not demonstrate, build affordable housing as a part of that. Affordable market housing, affordable by design. So we're expecting them to deliver 30% of their product into a predefined affordable market. We're also requiring of them to deliver features for accessibility throughout their new developments. So we are in a unique position as an owner of stock at a particular distance to do exactly the things that are being talked about here. Local government recognises us as their natural partner because we have that joined up ownership. The work we do is sufficiently good that the community can see that moving from low density to medium density is not the end of the world. That in fact you can preserve amenity in a community, that you can build and grow a community, notwithstanding the higher densities. In fact, I almost want to run through all of those slides again and speak at each point about the opportunities that we have in Brisbane by peculiar and particular circumstances that have occurred for us. But I just applaud the work that's been done and feel re-enthused that we're in fact are on the right path. Thanks.